Hi and welcome to my update video on my AEP project. I have an old video about my AEP projects where I talk about upgrades and stuff. You should check that out first if you are interested in AEP upgrading and these kinds of projects. But yeah, this is an update video with some new thoughts and some new conclusions. But in the old video I had an upgraded AP, and this is basically that AP but with another shell. This is not the fake, this is the real Cyma Glock AP, and these aren't available anymore. I got this from a friend. But it's basically the same pistol. It has the same internal barrel, it has the upgraded spring, upgraded nozzle head, and yeah, it has a LiPo mod upgrade, but now it's a lanyard instead. I will talk about that later. And so yeah, this is basically the same pistol. When you upgrade the spring on this pistol, on any AP actually, you will get lower rate of fire, and that basically, yeah, that makes sense, right? Like you have a harder time pulling on this spring, and you get a lower rate of fire. So okay, the rate of fire wasn't terrible, but I didn't think it was that good either. So I thought, okay, I need to get a better battery with a higher voltage like this one. And I searched around online and tried to find a battery that would fit in here, because the normal LiPo mod fits here with the 7.4 volt battery, but I couldn't find anything with the correct form factor, and I couldn't find anyone else online solving this problem, having the battery in here. I saw other solutions where they had some kind of pick box here and they fit the battery here, and it looked awful, but every other solution was external wiring. The best solution, and the solution I always had in the back of my head, was a lanyard. And I tried to avoid that because I know, you want a free, like a pistol with no wires on it. But yeah, this is basically what I did in the end. I put a lanyard here with just, you see, like a telephone cord or whatever. You see this coiled cord. And then you put Deans here, and you can put any battery you want in here. I use my AEG batteries for my AKs. And this is an 11.1 volt battery. And now I have the rate of fire I want on these upgraded APs. So the conclusion is, like, if you upgrade the spring on an AP, you basically have to have external wiring to get a good rate of fire. If you're pleased with the rate of fire I have in my previous video, which was the 7.4 volt battery, then fine. But if you want more, you have to do this. Or if you decide not to upgrade the spring, this is a Tokyo Marui Glock AP, which has the original spring, then you are fine with the normal LiPo mod. This is a 7.4 volt battery. You get no cords outside or whatever, it just looks like a pistol. And have a good rate of fire. This is 7.4 volts with a stock, not stock battery, stock spring. Yeah, see, fine. And this is upgraded spring with upgraded battery. You see, the rate of fire is even better on this with an upgraded spring. So yeah, in conclusion, if you upgrade the spring, in my opinion, always get a lanyard and a better battery. If you don't touch the spring, then you don't need to upgrade the battery other than the LiPo mod. In my previous video, my AP had a rail system on top with a red dot. There's nothing wrong with the rail system. You can use that to have a silencer or a tracer unit during nighttime, and that's really good. But a red dot on a pistol, in my opinion, when I tried it, I should have done some research online before I started putting red dots on pistols. It's not worth it. You will not find the dot when you're aiming. It's so hard. You know, a pistol is more flimsy. You know what I mean. It has no stock. You try to find the red dot, even if you try the real steel grip with the triangle, you will be somewhat more stable and find the red dot, but it will be hard, and you will exhaust your energy on finding the red dot rather than shooting the enemy. So, in my opinion, the stock iron sights are easier to find during daytime on a pistol. So yeah, for me, like, it makes no sense to have a red dot on a pistol. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but on these pistols, I prefer not to have a red dot when I tried it. Other than shooting during nighttime, of course. If I'm on a nighttime game, which I've been in some instances, then you want a red dot on this. You can't find these during nighttime. But yeah, if you're running this as a simple sidearm or during daytime, don't buy a red dot for it. It doesn't do you any good. Here is the same AP with the rail system on top. You see there's a thread here, so you can put silencer on. And here you have the red dot. So yeah, and this is basically just a couple of screws to unscrew under the slide here. And you unscrew the iron sights. They're just plastic and screws. And you put this on. And as I said in the previous video, this rail system will not fit the fake Cyma Glock without modifications. You basically glue it on and screw with, you have to put holes in this and put screw, yeah, it's basically gluing it on. But yeah, this you can do in a couple of minutes. Just unscrew this, put this on, and then you have great capacity for silencers and red dots. I use this as my nighttime CQB thingy. I have some thoughts on the high cap magazines. These are the stock ones. They are 28 rounds a piece. They're great. They function. That's it. These are the high cap magazines, which have about 100 rounds of capacity in them. A lot of people have stated that they have problem with these, like they get misfeeds and stuff. And initially, I didn't have any problems with these. I could run these with full capacity, but then recently I got problems with them. Basically, what I found out is that the lips here are too flimsy, so, and the spring here is too hard. So then when you put it into the pistol, you get misfeeds in the hop pop. I don't know if that's because of, I don't know why, if it's the spring or if it's the lips, I don't know. But basically the magazine does this. The spring seems to be very tight when you have full capacity. And then you get misfeeds in the hop pop, or they get stuck in there. And yeah, so it gets, in my opinion, you should only fill this up to about 60 or 70 BBs. Like when you fill this up, you will feel like it really gets hard to put in the BBs. And when it starts to get hard, just stop. Just leave them there. If it's 50 BBs, it's better than get a misfeed. So these are kind of problematic, but I still like them because of, yeah, you get a higher capacity and it looks kind of cool with a extended magazine. And as I said, these are fine. But yeah, if you buy these, don't be surprised if you get some feeding problems if you fill them all the way up. When I had my rate of fire issues with this, I first tried to install a MOSFET to increase the rate of fire basically, and I installed it and I didn't get any noticeable difference, but it shot well and everything. And I was like, okay, did I wire this incorrectly? And I looked it up and tried to fix it, and I looked at the instructions, which were very clear, and I couldn't get it to perform any better in rate of fire. So I was like, okay, well, I'm done with this. And then I went to this conclusion and to this solution and concluded that this was better. So in my opinion, a MOSFET on these, maybe I did it wrong, I don't know, but in my opinion, it's a waste of time and money to put a MOSFET in this. This is easier. Maybe I did something wrong. maybe I didn't solder it correctly. I don't know. I'm not that good with electronics. I basically learned through this. But yeah, you don't need a MOSFET for this. And you never need a MOSFET if you do the LiPo mod on a stock spring here. I have some final thoughts about AEP projects now that I've invested a lot of time and money in these. First of all, if you just want a decent AP as a sidearm, you should just do, as I said in the last video, some prioritized upgrades. Some of the upgrades are overkill, like they are for good, like pricey projects that are just mostly just for fun, like this. If you want a good AP, buy a stock one, either the Tokyo Marui Glock, which is kind of pricey. The best option is to find the Saima 030 and like this one, and change the battery to a 7.4 volt battery, and that's it. You can be fine there. If you want somewhat better performance, you should get a precision barrel. And if you want to go further with that, then you're starting to get to the point where it's no longer just a good pistol, it's a fun project. So yeah, that's it if you just want a good AP. If you, on the other hand, want to do a beast project like this, be prepared that it's going to take you a lot of time and money to put together this. Like for instance, when I put the gearbox in 2 pieces, it was so hard to put in the new spring. It was so hard to get it together because the gearbox is this big. But I got it together. So if you want to do this, yeah, basically, if, as I said before, I couldn't say this enough. If you change the spring, you should do a lanyard. You should, because you won't be pleased with the rate of fire. Other than that, everything else is kind of easy to do and nice. It's when you're starting to split the gearbox when it's getting to be really hard to do it. But yeah, it's a fun project. If you have the time and money and the interest to do this, you should. Thank you for watching, and leave some comments below if you have questions. Like in the last video, the comment section turned like into a Q&A where I had to explain a lot of things, which was fine. I really liked that. So yeah, if you have thoughts, just leave them in the comment section.